Hello everyone, it's Rosie. Today I have a project share. As you can see, I've been very busy making these sailboats with driftwood that I found during my walks at the beach. Here in New York, we live not too far from the beach on Long Island, and I just love taking very long walks there and finding treasures that Mother Nature provides. So I thought these were a cute idea for using the driftwood. So what I did is I prepared a tray with all the elements that I used on the sailboats. So let me just show you step by step quickly what I've used. Okay, so first of all, I boiled the driftwood in water because I needed to kill all the bacteria for me to feel that it's safe to keep this in my house. So once it was boiled, I let it dry. It dried for, I don't know, a week, but just made sure that it was completely dry. And then let me show you. Here's extra driftwood that I didn't use yet. So that's that. And then I couldn't find a driftwood in this size, but I gathered these branches from my garden in Pennsylvania and sanded them off so that it would be stripped and it would look like driftwood. So I could use these things as the mast for the sailboats. Okay, then I gather all my elements. I started off by creating a template. I used this template for the larger boat on paper and the little one for the smaller boats, so that I could cut my fabric to these sizes. Okay, then I found the fabric that I needed among my things, and this is linen with lace on the edge. So in order for all these materials to be stiff and remain that way, I had to spray them with starch. I bought this branch. It was good. So I sprayed them with starch, then I ironed them, and this was the result. It's stiff, still manageable, malleable, but it's a good stiffness. So as you can see, I cut two pieces out of here, out of this. I think this was a doily, I'm not sure, but anyway, so with these two pieces I was able to use for the larger sailboat and the smaller one here. Okay, then let me show you each boat at a time quick. Okay, here, let me make a close-up. Okay. Alright, so here in this area I used multiple laces. They were previously tea-dyed. This one here is from my stash. This one is an antique one, and this one is from my stash. These from my stash are from Joann's Fabrics. This one is from from a vintage shop, tattered lace. And this one is from, I believe I got this from Michael's a long time ago. And yeah, and this one here is from Joann's. So I attached all of these laces, and then in the back I cut a metal hanger, like clothes hanger, you know, the ones that we usually dispose of because we don't like them. But in this case it was very useful. I cut it to the size I needed, then I gessoed it so it wouldn't show through the lace that I attached on top of it, and that kept it helped the fabric keep its shape. I added this loop in case I would need it, but it wasn't necessary, but I think it looks cute anyway. Okay, and then some of the driftwood needed extra support, like a base, in order to remain stable. So I used another piece of driftwood to stabilize it. I nailed it here, and then it worked out. So that's one. That's the first one I made. Then this was the second one I made. This same concept, and the laces are from Joann's, and this one was from my stash from a vintage shop, the one in the back. And this one also from a vintage shop, and this one from Michael's and Joann's. Now when I made a hole in on the driftwood, some of the driftwood was kind of fragile, so it kind of made a larger hole, but I kind of fixed it here with these tiny shells. I don't know if you could see. Okay, so I thought it looked cute, and this one was pretty stable. It didn't need any extra support. So that's my second boat, second sailboat. Then I made this one. For this I used this lace that I got from a vintage shop, and this one here, this eyelet trim, I can't remember where I got it from, and I believe it was Hobby Lobby, I'm not sure. Same thing here in the front, and here in between these two is this one with little loops that Trisha sent to me. Hi Trisha, thank you. Very useful trim. And here is the same trim as the one out here, eyelet trim. And this trim here on the side is from a vintage shop as well. And this one needed extra support here to keep it shape and keep it stretched. So I added this loop. I gessoed it so it would kind of match, and I think this one is my favorite out of all of them. Okay, so that's that. And oh, I forgot to mention, once I drilled the hole for the mast, I filled it up with E6000, but E6000 is pretty good stuff. I mean, it's very, very good. It'll glue stuff forever, but you just gotta be careful with those fumes. It's very very strong, and you may want to wear a mask or open the windows. I find it to be very, very strong. Okay, so this one here. Oh, let me show you where this fabric came from. I bought this blouse from a charity shop, and of course I don't like the blouse for me to wear, but I bought it with the intention of using this lace, and it's got dangles, and it's got so much dangles and lace. So this blouse was like $3 after they were having a sale. It was a good bargain. So as you can see, I cut a piece from here, from the back, to use for my sailboat. Let me just place it there. So here it is. And now for the trims on the edge, I use this trim here that Tricia sent me. It was actually in one trim, it was this on the top and this one on the bottom, but I cut it horizontally so that I could use part of it here and the other part down underneath right there, because I thought, I don't know, for some reason I thought these look like fishies, and since it's an ocean theme here, I thought it would go well. So that came from Tricia. Thank you, Tricia. And then this trim here in the middle came from Joann's fabrics. And this eyelet trim on the outer edge was sent to me by Tricia from a little shabby chic. I don't know anyone who doesn't know Tricia, but just in case. So then this trim here also came from a vintage shop. Okay, so I think this one is my second favorite. Okay, so that's that. Okay. So this one I used, I still have some glue here. I used this, it's called a cool gray because it's light, lace, and I cut it to the shape, of course. Then I added this trim from Joann Fabrics, and then this one, this with the little dots, that came from a vintage shop. This one came from Joann Fabrics, and this one here came from a vintage shop as well. Okay, so that's that one. Okay. Okay, so we have this one too. I also use that gray lace. Here I use this crochet trim from, I think that came from, yeah, that came from Joann's Fabrics. This one out here came from a vintage shop, and this in the middle gathered trim, that came from a vintage shop as well. No, this one came from Joann's Fabrics. And this little one, this eyelet trim, came from vintage shop, and this one too from a vintage shop. Okay, so that's that one. Okay, one more. Alright, so for this I used a vintage hanky. Here's this handkerchief. It was kind of damaged, so I didn't feel so bad about cutting a piece out of it. Let me show you. There's that piece that I cut out. It's really, really thin. You can tell this is vintage. Very, very soft. So, so that's that. Out here, for this edge, I used the trim that Tricia sent me. Looks so pretty there. And the outer trim right there behind this one is from Joann's Fabrics, and this one too from Joann's Fabrics. And this one came from a vintage shop that came from Teresa in Lewisburg, and the one behind it also came from a vintage shop. And like with the previous driftwood, this was very delicate, so the hole came out a little bit bigger than expected. So I fixed it with little shells that I believe I bought these from Michael's a long time ago. Look at the shells. They're so tiny. I think they're adorable. Okay, so that's that. Here are the shells. Okay, and just quickly let me show you what I used. I used this for this sailboat, and all the Joann's Fabrics trims, lace trims, came in the spool like this. So the price was not bad at all. They were $2.99 for the spool, and I think there was 2 and 3 yards in each spool. So I really got a bunch of them, and plus they were having sales. So yep, so all of this is from Joann's. I used this in one of these boats. I don't know which one it is. But anyway, I used this trim from a vintage shop. This one. This dainty, pretty one. And I don't want to take too long, that's why I don't want to show you one by one, because I know it's going to take forever. So all of these, plus all of these, okay, and the E6000. Okay, so that's it. That's I've been very busy creating these sailboats. It was fun. It's something I've never done before. Well, like all the stuff I've never done before, but you know, it's fun. So just get this out of the way. Okay, so let me show you a close-up so you can see details. Sorry about a little bit of glue there. That's it. I find a lot of beautiful stuff at the beach. Like I said, I take very long walks. 3-hour walk to me is like nothing. I wish I would stay there longer, but we have things to do too. So that's this one here, and the little seashells. Okay, here's my first sailboat. Okay, and this one is my favorite. Sorry if I'm jittery, I drank a lot of coffee. I was up all night making these. Who needs sleep when you can make sailboats? There you go. Okay, so that's it. I hope you like my projects, and if you have any questions, let me know. And thank you for watching. Until next time, bye bye.